Welcome to the Pewtercast. This is our Buc'In the News show for November 30th, looking at the Bucs versus Panthers game. I am Brent Allen, your host, joined as always by my good friend Ren Daxt. Ren, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I don't know, man. Like, I want to give you something, but I'm afraid if you don't like it, you're going to freak out and go all over social media.
Only if it affects my kids, man. Only if it affects my kids. That's it.
Is that what we're going to now? Is that where we're gonna? Is that where we've wrangled this into? Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Well, we will certainly. It has been no secret. There has been some stuff that's happened I have not been too pleased with, but we'll get into all of that because it actually affects the Buccaneers and a lot of other things. It's not just my own little personal soapbox. But this is how a Buc'In the News show works. Earlier this week, we've done the Instant Cast show where we gave our instant reactions to the last game. Then we gave our Final Thoughts show where we talked about all of our final thoughts. We took emails from you guys, the listeners. We got to read those and go through all of that. So we've analyzed the game. Now we've turned the corner, starting to look towards the upcoming game, the Panthers and Buccaneers for this week, as it were. And this is the show where we take a look at everything that has happened over the course of this week for our beloved Buccaneers. We do that by breaking this up into a couple different sections. The first section, we'll talk about the roster. We'll look at the transactions that the Buccaneers have made. This particular week, though, Ren, we're actually going to do 2 weeks worth because we missed our Buc'In the News show last week. Then we're going to get into some of the headlines that have come out of One Buc Place this week, and we'll take a look at the injury report and how that's going to affect the players. And then we do our predictions here on the show, but they're not game predictions. These are predictive inactives for the show, and that will take us into the weekend. So, Ren, why don't we go ahead and get started? We'll start all the way at the top with the transactions. Now, like I said, this is going to go back to last week just because we missed our Buc'In the News show. So we want to make sure that we cover these. Last week, the Buccaneers placed first-round draft pick tight end O.J. Howard on injured reserve. And his season is done. I know. You might not have noticed him in this last week's game. You might have been wondering where he was, but that's because he got placed on IR. I forget exactly what the injury was. Ren, do you remember off the top of your head?
Ankle.
So O.J. Howard, his season is done. I believe his season last year also got cut short.
It did.
Heading over to injured reserve. So kind of a big deal for the Buccaneers, but we got a lot of people out there that we can still throw the ball to, Ren.
Yeah. You know, you hate to see OJ hang it up for the season because he's having such a good year and he's developing into, one of the best tight ends. And physically and athletically, he might be. He just sort of hasn't built his reputation up yet. One of the best tight ends in the league. I mean, this guy can be a Pro Bowler for the next decade. But
do you think he was having a Pro Bowl season? Like, had he continued through this year, would this have been the year that he made the Pro Bowl, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he could have.
I think so. I think so. I'm not out of the question. Now, an All-Pro, that's different. But I think he would have had the numbers at least to make a debate about it. So, yeah, I think he probably would have. Well, I mean, he would have been in the conversation for sure. I would have voted for him and not felt guilty about it. That's one thing. I don't vote like, hey, it's Pro Bowl. Like, I don't just go down the roster and vote. Like, there's about, who would I vote for? I would vote for JPP and Mike Evans, and that's probably it for the Pro Bowl this year.
That's probably fair. Yeah.
I mean, as a Bucs fan, those are the two guys that I think for my team deserve it.
Yeah.
I might be missing somebody. No,
I don't know. I mean, if you go front to back, right? Offensive line, quarterback, running back.
Well, he's not having a terrible year, and I'd have to sort of see like where he's stacked up against the other guards.
Who?
In the NFC, Ali Marpet.
Ali. Yeah, yes, we'd have to see how he stacks up against the other guards. I think that's. But
he's not a clear-cut favorite.
No, he's not. But I mean, you go back, like, we're not going to put any of our running backs in there.
No.
Tight end could have been OJ.
Right.
Definitely Mike Evans, but while we like all the rest of our receivers, most of them anyway, I wouldn't vote for any of those. Then on the defensive side, JPP on the defensive line, and then Any of our linebackers?
No.
No. Any of our safeties or cornerbacks? No.
Conti.
So, well, I mean, when you can take a stiff arm like that, that's Pro Bowl material right there, to just be able to take it. And then come back with a snappy tweet the next game,
Actually, he couldn't take it because I think that was the last play.
Yeah.
he ever played.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think he was injured before that.
Prior to that, yeah.
And that play was kind of like, yeah, you can't. Yeah.
The old softy in me really hopes that he comes back for at least one more game somewhere. Maybe it's with the Bucs, maybe with somebody else. Because that's not how you want to end your NFL career. Have the last thing you remember is a hand in your face.
I wouldn't be shocked if he's back with the Bucs next year.
You wouldn't be?
No.
Nice.
Not starting.
Right.
But, not necessarily like penciled in as a starter, but I wouldn't be surprised he's in training camp.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I certainly wouldn't. So, but we'll get there. That's way in the future. We'll talk about that then. So, OJ Howard on injured reserve. We signed defensive back Josh Shaw. I think he's been around the team a little bit. I don't know that he was on the practice squad. I think we signed him off, but I do recognize this name. I don't know much about him. Ren, do you at all?
Josh Shaw? No, he was he wasn't from the practice squad. He was a free agent. God, it's been so long. Yeah, he actually played last week. We got him from the Texans, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a cup of coffee with a couple of teams. Like, I think he played maybe a year or two with somebody, and then was in someone's training camp, and then was a free agent after that, and we ended up picking him up. So yeah, we didn't bump him up for the practice squad. He was a free agent. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I didn't know. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't know we were going all the way back to last week's.
It's all right. But I mean, he did play this last week, though. I mean,
what?
He did play this last week.
Yeah.
Okay. How did he do?
On defense?
How did he do?
Like,
did you recognize?
The game.
Did you look at?
Well, the defense had 2 picks and only held the team 9 points, so I'm giving them a thumbs up.
Okay, there you go. Now, with that, also last week, the Buccaneers signed defensive end Damone Harris, who has been around the team basically all season, back to the practice squad. So he is with the team right now, but he's just back to being a practice squad guy. Now, bringing it into this week, earlier this week, the Buccaneers waived Godwin Igwe, or safety, and signed from the practice squad to the active squad cornerback David Rivers, who's also been around the team for quite a bit. So certainly we need a little bit of help there. We know Carlton Davis went down in our game this past week, did not return. Spoiler alert, he will not be playing this week either. I don't know what the prognosis is with his injury, but it didn't look good in the stadium last week.
And Iggy got picked up by somebody else.
Oh, he's already been picked up from someone?
Yeah, someone snatched him off waivers.
Yeah. Okay, well. Good luck to him unless he's playing the Buccaneers, and otherwise, screw you.
And your uncle.
Right. To replace David Rivers on the active on the practice squad, we signed back tight end Donnie Ernsberger, who was with us during training camp.
The creator of Facebook.
And creator of Facebook.
Isn't he the creator of Facebook?
No. You're thinking of Mark Zuckerberg.
The tight end from Western Kentucky.
Sure. I guess that's where he's from. I don't know. Did he come from Western Kentucky?
Ernsberger is. I think he's Eastern. I think he's from Western. Yeah, okay. Western Kentucky. Anyway, yeah, he was a guy that they were sort of high on in camp, and I was too. And he was one of those guys, remember at the beginning of OTAs, were like, I don't know, Alan Cross, like this way, he's like, it's going to be tough for you this year. And then the Bucs liked him, but he got injury waived. He hurt his knee sort of somewhere in training camp, and he just sort of disappeared one day. So he's back. So, but it's an awful crowded tight end room.
It is. But he's on the practice squad, so
Yeah, he's got a lot of money from Facebook, so he's good.
There you go.
Just following his dream. All
right. And then news today: Buccaneers have waived running back Dare Ogunbowale. I'm not really sure why. Do you know why? Is this an injury waive or just letting him go? Because they did sign in his place wide receiver Bobo Wilson to the active roster. Is this just making room for another
making room for Bobo because, another spoiler, Deshaun Jackson, I'm sure most of you already know, will be inactive as well. So Koetter even said on his radio show, it's like it's real hard to go into a game without 5 wideouts. So with Deshaun down, that meant they were bringing somebody up, and the logical choice would have been Bobo. That's who it was. And last guy that got moved up off the practice squad to be active was Dare, and there you go.
Well, that 4th running back spot is an extra spot, so it's more of a luxury certainly than a necessity. So that's our transactions report, Ren. Couple of different moves, but Bobo Wilson back on the active roster. Do you know at what point during the year that players can play and not have that affect their practice squad status? Because we're getting close.
I don't really think it's a point of. Is it a point of the year, or is it a number of games?
It's a number of games. So, like, if we get to this point of the year and they've not played, that many games, then they can come up and actually play like the rest of the year off the practice squad and not affect that.
And the good thing about that is if you're on the roster at the end of the year, you're protected. Those practice squad guys aren't.
Right. So, I mean, like we did that last year with Riley Bulla. We did that last year. I think actually we did that with Bobo Wilson last year as well. A couple of other guys, we brought them up from the practice squad, and they saw game action towards the end of the year last year. So, I'm not sure. I think we're getting close. I don't think we are there just yet. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we'll see. Now with Bobo, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Bobo, we know from training camp and the practices we got to see, he was fielding a lot of punts. I don't know that he was doing so much kick return duties. Do we think that he might actually get some action doing some return stuff? We know punting is pretty solidly Adam Humphries, but
right, I would think so, since the guy that did it last week is no longer on the team.
Was that Dare?
Yeah. And did it for the last 2 weeks, actually. But then again, there's Rojo, so Ronald Jones might be returning kickoffs.
There's also Jacquez, who has been a guy.
Yeah, but Koetter doesn't like to use, guys who get hurt, because Jacquez is a big part of this offense. As much as I don't mind as much as I did the beginning of the year when Koetter would, or I guess Munkin would give the ball to Jacquez, like hand him the ball like 4 or 5 times a game, and then throw to him like 3 times. And it's like, no, like that's like, there's no point of him being on the roster. But now he's sort of settled into this almost Charles Sims-like role where he's there to pick up the blitz. And if you don't pick up the blitz, he just kind of squeezes somewhere between the guard and center. And he's been a nice outlet for Fitzpatrick and Winston in these past couple of weeks. So I like his spot, and that's why I don't think Koetter's going to make him or put him back there for kickoffs, because you don't want to get your guy that's taken 25% of your running back snaps hurt return to kickoff.
Yeah, we've given him early. I know I have given him a lot of flack this year. Why is he out there? Why is he out there? But especially in these last couple of games, the times he's been out there, he's had some really good runs. He's had some really good, pickups off of whatever he's been given. So,
yeah, they've quit handing him the ball, and it's like you're here to block and be, the last resort.
Yeah, the final check down. So.
Yeah, the final check down, and that role, I guess it's the skill talent to be in that role as far as NFL running back probably isn't that high. So, like he's great in that role, but he's serviceable. He catches the ball, he makes yards. The few times they do give it to him now, it seems that every other week he breaks a pretty nice one, like a 15-yarder, every other week. But once again, like what I'm happiest most about it is how they're not giving him the ball like 5 times a game, and he goes 5 carries for 7 yards.
Right. I'm with you on that. All right. Well, that's our transactions report. That's our roster. Let's move over to headlines. Ren, let's start with 2 that actually occurred during the game last week. I think we probably referenced them just a little bit, but now is our chance to actually get to talk about them. Jason Pierre-Paul has now done something that no Buccaneer has done for the last 12 years or however long it's been now. He has broken the 10-sack mark. So, Ren,
is that what it is?
Yeah, he's fine. He's 10.5 now.
I thought he was the brunt of the most one-armed bandit jokes in the past 13 years.
The three-fingered Willie jokes. That sounds dirty. It sounds way dirty. I'm not going there.
It does sound dirty.
But yeah, so congratulations to him. That shouldn't sound like a big deal, you know?
Well,
but it is.
You know, I've discussed this in past pods, and I really don't think it is a big. No one's really talked about it. Everyone just went, "Yay, it's over," and then moved on.
Yeah.
You know, we all thought, and the reason I've said this like before, at least I thought that somebody's getting 10 sacks means we're getting better pass rush, which we are finally, but only in these last few games. Getting better pass rush equates to better pass coverage, which equates to better defense, which equates to wins. And I guess these past 3 weeks, the Washington game was an anomaly, and the New York Giants game was an evenly matched game. You know, if it wasn't for the early turnovers. So I guess the last 3 weeks you could sort of say that's where it's come from. But since we're only like 4-7, and the defense is giving up record points, I don't think they're on that pace anymore. But I'm sure they're still last in the league in points given up. Like, no one really cares about it anymore because we thought a 10-sack guy would have meant like 6-7 wins by this point in the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but all of that said, it's still fun to have a guy who, is getting that. And by the way, he did this relatively earlier in the season. This wasn't like he got down towards the last game or two and was trying to eke it out. So there's still plenty of season left if he continues to play. I know he's fairly well banged up from all the reports that we've heard about him, but
he could get 14, 15.
Yeah, that's more than anybody else has gotten twice, sometimes 3 times over the last bunch of years.
And can you believe that last year our defensive end, the most sacks, it was 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. And he's got 10.5.
Yep. So that's kudos to him. Well worth that 3rd round pick, because I don't think any 3rd round pick we would have had would have come in and done that this year. So, and JPP's got some life left in him. He's not ready to retire. It doesn't seem like. So, now that said, that's JPP. Another record was also set fairly early in the season. Again, Mike Evans has already reached 1,000 receiving yards for this season, and that makes him join a club of just 2 other guys. There's only 3 people in the club of people who have reached this 1,000-yard mark in their first 5 seasons. Joining him in that, or actually, I guess he is joining Randy Moss and AJ Green. Now, last year, Ren, he hit this 1,000-yard mark, and I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that it was, again, the same 3 guys. Like, it's still just the 3 of them. Like, to hit 4,000 or to hit 1,000 in their first 4 years. So
yeah.
So at what point? And I know you were looking it up. At what point does the other guys fall off? Like, if Mike keeps this pace over the next bunch of years, when does he hold that record for the longest streak of consecutive 1,000-yard seasons from the beginning? Right.
Well, it really, because I went back and looked, and it's really only those 3 guys, because like Jerry Rice had something like 15,000-yard seasons or 12 or something like that, but he didn't get one his rookie year. So it's like getting one your rookie year is really the key to this. And I think there's only like 4 players that did it more than 3 times, and one was like a Packer, an old Green Bay Packer, and he did it during like a strike season or something, and it was sort of kind of like, well, that doesn't really count that of a deal. But yeah, so it's been AJ Green and Randy Moss and Mike Evans. And he is now tied with AJ Green for consecutive seasons at 5. Mm-hmm. And Randy Moss holds the record at 6. So if he does it next year, he'll be tied for most ever. And if he does it for the next 2 years, which I think if he stays healthy, no matter who's the quarterback is, Mike's going to get it.
Yeah.
It's basically just injury right now.
Right. Right.
Something like that. So, so 2 more years. So what's it? Season 2020, when he gets that record, it will be
he will hold it by himself, huh?
Sole possession, for 7 in a row.
All right.
Yeah, 7 in a row.
All right. Well, good luck, Mike. We are certainly rooting you on, buddy. We hope you get it. So that's it's kind of cool. It was neat in the stadium for both of these guys. When they hit that mark in the stadium, they had a big announcement, like they kind of stopped the game, or not stopped the game, like it was in between whistles, right? And they made a big announcement about it in the stadium, had a graphic to go up and all that kind of stuff. So definitely pretty cool. All right, moving on, maybe a bigger topic than what it should be, but it's, at least for me, has maybe kind of turned into something a little bit bigger.
Let's get to the hot off the press.
Yeah. And some of you guys may be tuning in to hear this, and others of you may think that I'm the world's biggest asshole because of this. But
not world's biggest, but yeah,
I'm pretty big. So
not a good look.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Earlier this week, the Buccaneers sent out an email to all of their season ticket holders. I'm sure most of you are aware of this by now, saying, hey, congratulations, everybody. JPP said that we should have a home field advantage, so we're going to try to make that happen. Everybody gets 2 free tickets.
I thought it was limited number.
It said every season pass holder gets 2 free tickets. Now, regardless if you have 2 seats or 4 seats or 6 seats or 8 seats or however many, you get 2 free tickets.
Oh, so it wasn't a first come, first serve.
Here I can read the email to you. It is a first come. They did say that it is very limited number. It said there are a very limited amount of tickets, and they are available on a first come, first served basis. So reserve them.
So everybody's eligible for 2 free tickets.
Season pass members, yes. And here's what it says. It says we're offering you 2 complimentary tickets to bring your family or friends to the game on Sunday.
Means don't sell them.
It means don't sell them. It means to bring your family and friends to the game. Now, when you clicked on the thing to receive it, now here's the thing for me personally. What was really cool about this was at the moment that this email came in, my wife, who was going to come to the game with me this particular week, we were talking about possibly bringing our kids. And so we were looking at getting a couple of extra tickets. Now, in my section, all year long, with the exception of the Steelers game, my entire row has been empty. It's been me and chairs and whoever else I'm with. Game. Yeah. And then let's talk about the seats in front of me. Most of those are empty. Let's talk about the seats behind me. Most of those are empty. The seats in that section right next to me, most of those are empty. So lots of empty seats all season long, right around me. Okay. So we're looking around and kind of looking for some tickets, and literally was about to buy a couple of them. And this email came through and we went, oh, look at that. That's cool. They're giving us 2 free tickets. Now, the email specifically says we're giving you 2 free tickets to bring your family and friends. Now, I made an assumption. Okay.
Enormous assumption.
I made an assumption that
enormous assumption.
Now, here's the thing. Okay. And I've been getting a lot of flack. Like, oh, you didn't really think that they would give you tickets right next to where you were. They can't rearrange the whole stadium.
Yeah.
No, they can't rearrange the whole stadium.
Right.
But you know what? I look next to me every single damn game, and I sit in those seats just to spread out a little bit.
But you don't even know if they're sold or not.
You do.
You don't know if somebody bought those.
Oh, I do. You want to know how I know? Because you can go on to Ticketmaster and see which tickets are available and which ones aren't.
That doesn't mean somebody doesn't own those seats. You can put your tickets up on Ticketmaster.
Yes, it does, because the color for the ones that are unsold is blue, and the colors that are up for resale is red. So you know which ones are sold and which ones are not sold. And the tickets around me have not been sold. Okay,
so they're blue.
Now they're blue. Now here's the thing: even if they can't give you tickets right next to you, I would assume that they would try to give you tickets, your pair of tickets, because they're telling you to bring your friends and family with you. We're going to be generally in the same vicinity.
How?
In a section, maybe a section or two over. I'm just saying in general, they're going to be there. I would think, honestly. It depends
on what you sit, but you sit in the expensive seats.
So?
Like, why would they give away free tickets in the expensive seats
because they're empty. Because they're empty. The whole section is empty.
But they still have a section. Okay, first off, think about this, Brent. There's only a limited number, okay? So what are they supposed to hold? Every unsold seat and wait till the Bucs fans claim the tickets.
You want to know something?
Go in and go on. Okay, here's Brent. He's in 232.
Yep.
Let's see. He needs 2. What are 2 close to him? Okay, these 2. Okay, who else claimed him? Oh, you got to go through like 5,000 people to try to get the closest ones, do you just allot a big section of seats that no one ever buys, like in the corner, in the end zone, those ones that are always up for sale only for visiting teams, and use those seats?
Okay, that's fair. That's 100% fair. Except for the 2 days before they did this and announced this promotion, they blacked out the entire stadium. There was not a blue seat available in the entire stadium. So they did black out the entire stadium to prevent people from buying those. And the only ones that were available were red resale seats. And I understand that. Okay. Now there's 2 issues here to this whole thing. The one is, here's how they really could have done this to manage expectations and help people. They could have said in that initial email, hey, the seats may not be with your original seats. They're limited and they're only in the upper or lower bowl or something of that nature. You can tell me that I was wrong for making an assumption that the seats would be together.
You were wrong for making an assumption.
Fair enough. If you think that, I happen to disagree with you, but okay.
You think what?
No, I think
that
yes.
You're going to get 2 free tickets in your
in my section where nobody's sitting.
Okay, yeah, just for you. But what about the person who actually sits in a section that's all sold out?
Okay, then you get them as close as you can.
I don't think you have any idea how much how much work that is to set up and take care of, and they're doing it in a matter of like 5 days.
Great. We all have ticket reps. They have a whole bank of ticket reps. So here's the thing. Okay, regardless of all of this, okay, this wasn't the thing that really made me mad. Okay? All right?
Well, that's good.
Because here's the deal. So you click on the thing and it says, hey, great, your seats are reserved. You'll get them Friday. We'll tell you where they are on Friday.
They're
open up
probably
the
going
email.
by first come, first serve to try to get everyone close as possible.
I guess. I don't know.
Took a couple of days.
I open up the email this afternoon, and lo and behold, I look at the tickets, and not only are they not anywhere close to where we are, they're on the other side of the stadium, off in a corner. Okay?
So?
Like way over there. Here's the Ren, and here's what they said. Bring your friends and family to the game. Oh, yeah, you're going to be split and separated way over on opposite sides of the stadium. That's not bringing your family to the game.
Then buy tickets for them.
I was getting ready to buy tickets.
Anywhere they want to.
I was getting ready to buy tickets. They said, hey, we'll give you tickets to bring your family to the game. Now, here's all that. Even with that.
Be able to get tickets next to this. I'm just going to assume they're going to be right next to where mine are.
You're not letting me get to the point.
Okay.
When I emailed my rep and I said, hey, I really appreciate these tickets because I don't want to sound ungrateful. And I know that's how it's coming off. That's exactly it's literally what my email said. At the risk of sounding ungrateful, because believe me, I am very grateful for anything that we receive. I really am. And I truly am. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, anything like that. I said, here's the deal. When you sent this out, I said, great, I'm going to try to bring my family. I've got my wife and my 2 small children. And we were going to try to come to this game together. That was the idea. We're going to come to this game together. Is there any way you can help me out? Can we get our seats together? Can we move our seats? Can we do something to get together? And all I got was a flat, nope, we can't upgrade these. There's nothing else we can do. Sorry about your luck.
Can you downgrade them? Did you ask to downgrade them?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Can you help me put my seats together? Nope, we can't do that. You are where you are.
No. Putting your seats together would infer that you want them at the seats you pay for. Did you say, are there 4 seats over in the cheap seats so we can sit together?
In my second email, I did. I said, really, there's no other solution we can have that puts us together in 4 seats that are right next to each other. And they said, no. They didn't stop and listen, Ren. They didn't stop and listen to the problem and say, listen, this is a family that's trying to stay together. Are they getting 20,000 people to email them and say, hey, we want to move our seats and get them all? No. The vast majority of the people that got these seats said, hey, cool. Oh, man, they're not really with us.
Know that.
That's
you
fine.
Don't know that.
You're right. I don't know that. But you know what? Generally speaking, the people that I've heard from and the people that we've been talking to, they're just saying, yeah, my tickets are over there. So I gave them to somebody else, or I called my friend and had my friend go. Right. It's not 20,000 people emailing them, asking them to move all their seats around.
You don't know that.
Shuffle.
You're not thinking the logistics of it. And here's what the real problem is. And I'm giving you a hard time because I'm on the other side of this. But I understand what you're saying. And if I were you, I would have been upset too. I just went on social media and made a video about it and then start blasting it all over Twitter with diagrams about how far these 3 tickets are away from me. That's the only difference. But you're not thinking the logistics where here's your tickets, take them or leave them. Oh, no, wait. Can you move us here? Okay, well, that means I have to move other people. Or there's probably at least 500 people asking them to get them together. And so they're going to logistically try to move things around to get these people together. No, this is it. This is the deal. It's 2 tickets, take it or leave it. Now, I understand that his email reply both times was very short and you didn't like it at all. And if I was on your shoes, I wouldn't have liked it either. He should have explained it better. But I really think that you're on the wrong side of this, what you expect. I think, one, that you told your kids you guys are going to the game, and now you're sort of in a pickle and you have to walk it back and disappoint your kids. And now you're pissed off the Buccaneers for making you disappoint your kids when it was you just really assuming something that you didn't know. And 2, the way you were treated customer service, because you do pay a lot for those tickets. And if I were you, I would expect better service too.
Exactly.
But to look on the side of the Buccaneers as an organization with an email that short, I would think that they're getting inundated with these type of things. They're trying to respond to everybody. I think it's a lot bigger deal and a lot harder logistically than you think. You're thinking you, and you got to think about all the crap they got to do for all these tickets they just gave away.
Here's the thing. Okay. The video and stuff that I put out on Twitter was very much, I mean, it was immediately following this.
It was Instacast.
It really was. And I was pissed.
It was good stuff.
And I was pissed. And here's the thing. And here's why. Okay. The biggest reason and you nailed it, Ren. The reason this really pisses me off is because I was coming with my family.
Right.
We have my kids. We're trying to come and do something cool together. All right. I was getting ready to buy the tickets.
Right, I know.
Right next to where literally getting ready to hit the button when the email popped in.
I was trying to give you more money, and then you screwed me.
Right. And then I said, oh, and by the way, those tickets that I was getting ready to buy, guess what? They're not available anymore. Okay?
What, with the ones right in your row?
There was somebody who had some resale tickets that actually were very, very cheap. And I was trying to buy those. Okay. Those were the ones I was trying to buy. And those tickets aren't available anymore. And I could have gotten really these 2 kids into the club section to sit right next to us because nobody else would have been sitting in those seats anyway. And even if they would have been 2 sections over. And we'd be right there together, and we could be in the club section, be together as a family. But
yeah, you guys could have found so you were trying to buy the cheapest club seats available, and then you guys would have found some place to go in the club.
Exactly. Anyway, off of all of that, 25 minutes of this episode gone to that. My own catharsis. All right, final thing under headlines for this week.
Feel better?
Do what?
Feel better? Or did you get more riled up?
No. I'm.
You need to be heard from the organization. That's what you need. Yeah. You got to call your guy back and hear what he has to say before you feel better.
Probably. I probably need. I probably need to talk to him because it's
because it's not about the free tickets or getting sat together. It's about how they handled your request.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean, even though your request was never going to happen, and you should have known that, but you tried. But seriously, yeah, that's it.
And it all could have been solved with a better initial email.
And I think if you would have said that, I'm sorry, what?
I said, and it all could have been solved with a better initial email. Just tell us where the tickets are. Say, hey, we're going to give you 2 complimentary tickets, but they're going to be shitty. and don't ask us to change them. Fine. Great, I'll take them anyway. And honestly, you know what I would have done with those? Probably give them away on this show.
I don't know if you could have done that. You probably have to give yours away.
No, they let you transfer them. Anyway, they don't want you selling them. That's the big thing. Although they didn't say you couldn't. So, anyway. All right. Final thing for headlines, and we'll move on. From a Dirk Koetter press conference earlier this week, we have well documented the hardships between Jameis Winston and Deshaun Jackson. It's been highlighted to me even more so this week, really the last 2 weeks, but more so this week. Jameis Winston doesn't have a problem connecting with any other of his receivers. So why is he having a problem with Deshaun specifically? And it's not just the long ball to Deshaun, it's even the short ones. Like, what's the deal? Now, so according to Koetter, him and Jameis and DJax all got together in a room, sat down in a really dark room, watched a whole lot of game film, and quote unquote, tried to find common ground.
Yeah, that whole thing's weird. Now, I don't know if it was just those three, or, Munkin was there, or maybe the wide receivers were there, or other quarterbacks were there, and Deshaun, or maybe it was just those three in Cutter's office trying to figure this out. I don't know. But I just found it funny, the phrasing of find common ground.
Yeah.
That has more to do with, it sounds like finger pointing. It's like, all right, you guys need to get in the room and just figure this out type of thing, instead of like getting in a room and having both of them watching film and all three of them talking about what they're seeing. And they go, oh, okay. Like I think, if personally from what I saw last week, the 49ers game from Deshaun, I think he's coming out of his breaks late and he's not getting his head around.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say I don't think he's coming out of his breaks late. I don't think he's getting his head around fast enough.
Okay.
And I thought I saw that a couple of times. So getting them in there and talking, because it doesn't sound like they do a lot of talking unless they're forced to, possibly.
Yeah. Hey, you definitely get the idea that
I think that's a great idea, and I hope it pays off going forward. But I also have a sneaky suspicion that this might be like the last time we ever saw Deshaun Jackson suit up for the Buccaneers was the 49ers game.
I'm okay with that. I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I am too. I think everybody is.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really matter where you fall down. If you fall down on like Deshaun Jackson's getting screwed by Jameis Winston, you're still okay with Deshaun Jackson sitting down because he's never going to hit him. If you're on Jameis' side and Deshaun Jackson doesn't give enough effort, doesn't get his head around fast enough, doesn't try when Jameis throws the ball, well, then you're definitely okay with Deshaun Jackson sitting down. So wherever you're at,
yeah,
everyone's okay with it. Like, it's an experiment. The best way to put it is like, without passing blame, because we don't know. It's like, okay, we tried it. We tried it for, a year and a half, a year and 3/4, and it's just not working. Not your fault, not your fault. We're moving on. Like, we're keeping Jameis. Deshaun, great career. You helped us out. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I just wish I could put my finger on it, but, we're not releasing you because anything you did.
Yeah. And look, and there's the thing. Sometimes things just don't work.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, it's really okay. I don't know if they found out anything, but it ain't going to do anybody any good. You want to know why? Because DJax ain't playing. So let's turn our attention to the injury report as we start to look at this game this week for the Panthers. Now, I'm going to start with the Panthers injury report. It's actually really long, Ren. It's about as long as ours. The only difference is they have one player who is questionable, which is Devin Funchess, who was full participation as of today. So it looks like he'll probably go. Mm-hmm. The rest of the roster is pretty healthy. Nobody else is not going. So Panthers will be at full strength coming into Raymond James Stadium this weekend. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, on the other hand, not so much. We actually have quite a long list ourselves on the injury report. Mm-hmm. We've got, we already mentioned earlier, Carlton Davis, Deshaun Jackson, and MJ Stewart all will be out for this game. They have been ruled out. Carlton Davis and MJ Stewart, neither of those two participated all week long. Deshaun did participate in practice on a limited fashion, but he never really, I guess.
He can't catch.
He can't catch, right. So, do we know what happened to his thumb? Like, what the injury is? Do we know?
He's got a boo-boo.
Is a boo-boo a hangnail?
No. I actually think it happened on the last throw to him because it was, I think we needed the first down or something, and I remember it going to him.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to run out the clock, and then I can't remember if he caught it or not, but he got his hands on it, and then he immediately sort of like put his hand up as like, I'm going out.
Yeah.
And that sort of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, really? You're going out like right now? Like when you need to be on the field right now. Like, cause it was the first play. It was like, we get the ball, first down, run a pass pattern. They throw it to him. He's like, okay, I'm done. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. And I don't think he came back in after that. So I think that's where it happened.
It is. I don't know how close that was to the end of the game, but Joe Bucks fan put out a big thing about how Deshaun Jackson was first one running back to the locker room as soon as the game was over. He went back so fast he beat the officials into the tunnel.
Yeah, that could have been 1,000 things.
Could it have? I mean,
he could have had to pee.
He could have, but I wonder if the injury might have. He was heading back because he needed to get his hand looked at. Like, I don't know.
Could have his hand looked at. He needed to pee. Needed to poop. He wanted to get out of there before the reporters got in there.
Yeah.
Maybe he had family in town and they were leaving to the airport in an hour, and he wanted to get dressed and say bye to him. Maybe he had a Star Trek convention to go to before it closed. I mean,
I like that one. Yeah.
It could be absolutely anything, but since it's sort of in the net, since Deshaun Jackson's, the whipping boy right now, it's automatically taken in a negative light.
Sure. I'm going to go with it was a hand thing more than anything else.
I'm going to go that he wanted to go out.
You just want to go out? Yeah.
No, he wanted to go out.
Yeah.
You watch his Instagram?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That guy goes out a lot.
He does. All right. Oh, yeah. No. All right. So those guys are out. DeMar Dotson is listed as doubtful on the injury report. Means he will likely not play. He did not participate either Thursday or Friday. This is a knee and a hamstring injury.
Right.
He went down in the game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if that was a knee or a hamstring. It looked like a cramp to me at the time. He did get up and kind of walk off. I think he was a little bit assisted, but he did walk off the field.
Right.
So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but I doubt he will go. The Buccaneers doubt he will go. So there's that. Now the rest of that, the rest of the injury report actually looks pretty good. Good news is it does look like we'll be getting back Levante David, Justin Evans, Brent Grimes, and
Quan Alexander.
No, not Quan Alexander.
Vernon Hargraves.
Nacho. We'll get back Nacho, who did not participate. He did not participate today only. He was full participation the rest of the season, but we'll see if he's active. So that's our injury report as far as that goes. The big news, though, getting back Levante David and Justin Evans.
Yeah, for sure. That is big news.
So
especially against a team that has some talent on the offensive side, and they're all going to be there.
Right. So with that, Ren, I'll put it to you, man. That being who we have out. We need 7 inactives for this game. Who do you got?
Ryan Griffin,
okay,
which I don't think is going to be active until the Bucs are officially eliminated, so they might get a look at him. That's my hope. Of course, Carlton Davis, Deshaun Jackson, MJ Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
I am also agreeing that Dotson's not going to go. I mean, I said this way beginning of the season, like there's some point Dot's going to be gone.
Yep.
It just happens.
He's probably gone for the rest of the season, or may possibly come back the last game or so, but he's probably done. Yeah,
he's probably done for the season.
Yep.
That's just the way it has been the past 3 years. Not calling him that he gets injury prone. It's just facts.
Yeah.
I am inactivating Nacho.
Okay.
And I wanted to inactivate Shaw, the new cornerback we talked about.
Yep.
But with Levante David coming back, I'm afraid that they're going to probably sit Riley Bulla.
You think so?
Yeah. Or do you think Cam Lynch? I just think they like Cam Lynch on special teams too much. I think they're going to sit Bulla.
Wow.
But then when David gets hurt, who's going to back him up?
Exactly.
Screw it. I'm going back to Shaw. They're sitting Shaw.
Actually, Ren, you and I are the same all the way down the line here on this one. I think this might be the first time this year we have been in line. And there are no caveats to this for me. Deshaun Jackson, Carlton Davis, MJ Stewart, Ryan Griffin, DeMar Dotson, Nacho, and Shaw. And mostly the thing with Shaw is, like you said, with Justin Evans coming back, we signed cornerback David Rivers. I thought about him, but with the injury to Carlton Davis and Stewart, I think
is Shaw a safety or corner?
No, he's listed as a DB. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a corner or if that's a safety.
Really wrong on that.
We could be. So it could be David Rivers. I mean, David Rivers came up from the practice squad. So
we're going with Shaw because we don't like him. We don't know anything about him. Don't know who he is.
There you go. I like it. So, all right, Ren. Well, that is it as far as our Buck in the news. You got anything else as we head into this Panthers game you want to talk about real quick?
Watch out, Christian McCaffrey. I think the Bucs can win this game. The Panthers are on a 3-game losing streak. I've always thought Cam is sort of overrated as a passer. Excellent offensive weapon, but I know his accuracy has gone way up this year, but that's because he's throwing a lot shorter passes. No return of offense, lots of misdirections, reverses, jet sweeps like that. But it seems to be they're playing a 2-man game between Cam and McCaffrey. And sort of like the 49ers game, it's like take out George Kittle, make somebody else beat you. And I'm going to do the same thing. Even the Panthers are a more talented team. I'm like, just try to take away Christian McCaffrey and make somebody else beat you. Like, leave other people one-on-one, make Cam make the throws, and I think we win. Of course, no turnovers would be nice from the Buccaneers. And if we don't turn the ball over, we'll be there no matter what. Like, near the end in the fourth quarter, we'll have the ball with a chance to like extend the lead or take the lead, something like that. Like, if we don't turn the ball over, we'll be there.
Yeah, I'm pretty hopeful for this game. I think the Buccaneers have not just a good shot, but I think they have a damn good shot at winning. Certainly more so than I did 2 weeks ago. And it'll be interesting. I'm definitely very interested to see how this defense holds up under quote unquote facing a real team in the NFL, right? I mean, but
talent.
Yeah, but I mean, we've always said parity around the league. It's all teams are pretty good. So, I'm interested to see what they can do. But, Carolina certainly has some potent weapons, but we have some ourselves. So, is this a game that is a race to 40, you think, or is this more whoever has a better defensive game?
I think the defense, we've played better at home. And even though I say, well, it's San Francisco and Washington, so that helps a lot. And it does. But even besides that, they've played better against the Eagles. The Steelers, they played a good game against the Steelers. It really wasn't the defensive fault. They shut them out in the second half, and the offense turned the ball over 3 times and had a pick 6. So, the defense didn't play terribly in that game. The Eagles game was fine. And they had a goal line stand against the Browns, had another one last week against the Niners. So the defense plays markedly well. I don't think it's necessary to be a race to 40 because even though our defense is really banged up, I think they're playing a lot better assignment football, knowing where they're supposed to be, actually making the tackle more times than not. Just basic defense stuff that you need just to slow teams down. But I'm still looking at a game, in the 30s. Like, you're probably going to have to score 31-35 to win this game. Yeah. But it's not going to be, it's not going to be like that at halftime, like you've seen some of these other Buccaneer games this year.
Right. All right, Ren. Well, why don't you tell the folks where they can find you on the internet?
Best way to find me is on Twitter @Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football. And if Tampa Bay Buccaneers want to slide my DMs to talk to me, I will secede from the union.
And if you guys want to get a hold of me, you can find me at Brent Allen Live personally across all the social medias. But you can also find the show at The Pewtercast on Facebook and on Twitter. Or you can shoot us an email to thepewtercast@gmail.com. We will be back Sunday night with the Instant Cast, taking your phone calls. At least that's the plan for right now. Stay tuned to Twitter. We'll let you know if there's any changes to that, but there shouldn't be. But we definitely look forward to that. And we look forward to a Buccaneers victory. Hopefully it's a fairly full house, Ren. Hopefully this ticket giveaway thing has done what they wanted it to do, which is to bring
Well, we know the
back.
corners will be.
Yeah, at least the corners will be. Jeez. The places that actually get shown on TV, maybe not. But whatever. We'll see what happens.
Oh, Jesus.
Completely over it. All right, guys, we're getting out of here.
Derwin James!
Go Bucks!
Dalvin Cook!